Welcome to Beyond Vision Mindset, where we explore timeless wisdom, practical strategies, and transformative techniques to help you unlock your full potential. If you're new here, I'm glad you found us. This is the place where we blend Stoic philosophy, psychological insights, and personal growth practices to help you lead a life of strength, clarity, and resilience. Today's video is a game changer. We're going to tackle one of the most universal struggles that everyone faces at some point in their lives: fear. Fear comes in many forms. Whether it's the fear of failure, the anxiety that holds you back from pursuing your dreams, or the general apprehension that prevents you from stepping out of your comfort zone, fear can be paralyzing. But it doesn't have to be. You don't have to let fear control your decisions, limit your actions, or shape your reality. In this video, we'll explore 3 powerful strategies rooted in Stoicism and modern psychological techniques that will help you not only face your fears but conquer them with confidence. These strategies have been time-tested by philosophers and psychologists alike, and they provide us with the mental tools needed to handle fear without letting it take over our lives. Fear is a natural human experience, but it's also something that can be managed and overcome with the right mindset and approach. What if I told you that by understanding and applying these Stoic principles and psychological strategies, you could begin to view fear as something you can control? Instead of shying away from challenges, you could rise above them with courage and poise. By the end of this video, you'll have the tools you need to walk through fear's grip and make it a stepping stone to a stronger, more resilient version of yourself. This isn't just about overcoming fear for the sake of it. It's about transforming your life. Imagine no longer hesitating before taking that leap of faith, whether it's starting a new project, having that difficult conversation, or pursuing a long-held dream. Imagine standing tall in the face of uncertainty, confident in your ability to handle whatever comes your way. That's what this video is all about, equipping you with the right mindset to move forward and tackle fear head-on. Before we dive in, if you're someone who's passionate about self-improvement, personal growth, and Stoic philosophy, make sure to hit that like button, leave a comment sharing your thoughts or any fear you'd like to conquer, and subscribe to Beyond Vision Mindset. This way, you'll get updated with all the upcoming videos where we'll dive even deeper into Stoic wisdom and practical strategies to help you grow and thrive. Now, let's get started and break down the 3 ways you can kill your fear and start living a more courageous, empowered life. 1. Embrace negative visualization. The first powerful strategy we're diving into today is negative visualization, a technique deeply rooted in Stoic philosophy. You might be wondering, why would I want to visualize the worst-case scenario? It may sound counterintuitive, even uncomfortable, but trust me, this practice is one of the most effective ways to break the grip fear has on you. Negative visualization isn't about dwelling on negative thoughts or pessimism. It's about preparing your mind for potential outcomes, good or bad, so that you can approach situations with clarity and emotional strength. Stoics like Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus were masters of this technique, using it to train their minds to stay calm, collected, and unshaken in the face of adversity. Imagine for a moment that you're about to take a big risk. Maybe you're thinking about starting a new business, or perhaps you're preparing for an important presentation. The fear of failure can be overwhelming. What if it all falls apart? What if you make a fool of yourself? What if you lose everything? Negative visualization teaches you to sit with those fears, not to avoid them or suppress them, but to truly confront them. You intentionally imagine the worst-case scenario, the worst possible outcome. What if your business fails? What if you lose money? What if the project doesn't go as planned? By vividly picturing these worst fears, you take the fear out of the unknown. Here's the thing. When you spend time imagining the worst, you realize that it's not as terrible as you might have initially thought. In fact, by facing the worst possible outcome, you might discover that the fear of failure is often worse than failure itself. Most people are afraid to take action because they're terrified of what might happen, but once you acknowledge and visualize the worst, you come to understand that you can handle it. It doesn't define you, and it doesn't control you. For example, let's say you fear starting a new business. If you use negative visualization, you would start by imagining that your business fails. You lose all the money you invested, the clients you worked hard to get disappear, and you're back to square one. Now, imagine how you would react. You may feel frustrated, but you can also identify ways to recover, perhaps by learning from your mistakes, adjusting your approach, or even starting a different venture. The worst-case scenario might be uncomfortable, but it's not the end of the world. In fact, negative visualization empowers you. Once you've mentally prepared yourself for any outcome, you can approach the situation with a greater sense of calm and confidence, knowing that you've already accepted the potential difficulties. This acceptance removes fear's power over you, making it easier to take action, move forward, and embrace the challenges ahead. The beauty of this technique is that it also helps you practice gratitude. After going through the exercise of visualizing the worst, you'll likely appreciate what you already have and the opportunities you're still holding on to. You'll see that your fear doesn't have to paralyze you. It can serve as a powerful motivator to take action, learn from setbacks, and grow stronger in the process. By incorporating negative visualization into your daily routine, you begin to build emotional resilience. You stop letting the what-ifs control your life, and instead, you focus on what's in your control. How you react, how you prepare, and how you move forward. You're no longer afraid of what might happen because you've already made peace with it. This practice is not about inviting negativity, but rather about reframing fear in a way that frees you from its grip. It's about facing your fears head-on and realizing that you can handle whatever comes your way. Fear doesn't have to hold you back. When you embrace negative visualization, you gain the courage to push forward, knowing that you are ready for whatever happens next. 2. Embrace the dichotomy of control. The second strategy we're diving into is the dichotomy of control, another powerful Stoic principle that helps you eliminate fear by shifting your focus from what you cannot control to what you can control. This simple but transformative concept is central to Stoicism and one of the best ways to break free from the chains that fear places on you. In life, there are many things outside of our control: other people's actions, the opinions of others, random events, or the outcome of certain situations. These are the things that often trigger our fear because we feel helpless in the face of uncertainty. When we focus on what is beyond our control, we become overwhelmed by anxiety, fear, and worry. But the Stoics teach us a liberating truth. We can only control our thoughts, our actions, and our reactions. That's it. Everything else is beyond our reach, and the sooner we accept this, the more powerful and resilient we become. When you apply the dichotomy of control, you shift your focus from the things that scare you and cause anxiety to the aspects of the situation you have the power to influence. This shift helps to diffuse fear, as it brings you back to what is within your control, your own mindset, responses, and decisions. When we constantly worry about external factors, we're essentially surrendering our peace to things outside of our control. But when we take ownership of our actions and decisions, we realize that we hold the power. Let's break this down. Imagine you're about to speak in front of a large audience. The fear of failure, judgment, and public speaking anxiety may hit you hard. You may worry about how people will perceive you, whether you'll stutter, or if you'll forget your points. All of these are examples of things outside your control. You can't control the thoughts of others, and you can't guarantee that you'll be perfect. These fears can paralyze you and prevent you from taking action. But here's where the dichotomy of control comes in. Instead of focusing on how the audience will react or whether you'll make mistakes, focus on what you can control. You can control how well you prepare, the effort you put into practicing, and your own mindset. You can control your breathing to calm your nerves, focus on the message you want to deliver, and keep your energy high. By narrowing your focus to your controllable actions, you take the power away from fear. You realize that the outcome, whether perfect or flawed, isn't what matters most. What matters is your effort, your resilience, and your response to the situation. By embracing the dichotomy of control, you stop letting fear control your actions. You realize that even when things don't go according to plan, you have the ability to adapt, learn, and grow from the experience. Instead of obsessing over the potential negative outcomes, you start focusing on the process, the actions you can take to improve, prepare, and manage any challenge that comes your way. This shift in perspective allows you to approach fear-inducing situations with a sense of calm and clarity, knowing that you are fully in control of your own response. When we apply this to a broader sense, it becomes clear that our emotional resilience is strengthened by this shift in focus. By accepting that some things are beyond our control, we reduce our emotional attachment to them. We can stop worrying about the outcome of every situation, and instead, we focus on taking action, learning from failures, and making adjustments as needed. Fear begins to lose its grip because we realize that we can handle whatever comes, no matter the circumstances. This is not to say that fear will never appear, it will. Fear is a natural human reaction. But when you understand that you control your actions, your mindset, and how you respond to external events, fear no longer has the power to paralyze you. You begin to disempower fear by focusing on your strength and resilience. As you start to implement the dichotomy of control in your life, you'll notice how your fear gradually loses its grip. You'll become more focused, more determined, and less affected by the uncertainties that once held you back. By taking charge of what you can control, you not only manage fear more effectively but also create a sense of empowerment that can propel you toward achieving your goals, no matter the challenges that lie ahead. 3. Voluntary discomfort. Building resilience through challenge, 9 o'clock. The third strategy that will help you kill your fear is voluntary discomfort. This concept is often overlooked, but it's an incredibly powerful tool for building resilience and overcoming fear. It may sound counterintuitive, but actively choosing discomfort, intentionally putting yourself in challenging situations, is one of the best ways to break through your fears and develop mental strength. Voluntary discomfort is rooted in the idea that by deliberately putting ourselves in uncomfortable or difficult situations, we can learn to handle adversity and build resilience. The Stoics believed that exposure to discomfort was essential for developing self-mastery and emotional fortitude. Seneca, for example, often wrote about how enduring discomfort could teach us to handle life's inevitable challenges. By practicing discomfort, you train your mind and body to become more adaptable, more capable, and ultimately more fearless. Think about the things that make you fearful. Often, fear arises when we're faced with the unknown or when we're outside our comfort zone. We become afraid because we've never experienced that challenge before. The discomfort feels overwhelming because we haven't yet developed the tools to handle it. Voluntary discomfort is about gradually pushing yourself to face the things you fear so that they lose their power over you. It's not about making yourself miserable. It's about intentionally placing yourself in situations that test your limits so you can grow stronger. One example of voluntary discomfort could be taking a cold shower every morning. It might sound simple, but it's a powerful exercise in building mental toughness. The first time you step into a cold shower, your body will scream at you to get out, to stop. It's uncomfortable, it's cold, and your instinct will tell you to avoid it. But by enduring that discomfort, you prove to yourself that you are capable of withstanding discomfort and controlling your reactions. This small practice trains your mind to handle bigger discomforts in life, like the fear of failure, rejection, or uncertainty. Another form of voluntary discomfort could be pushing yourself to engage in social situations that make you anxious. For example, if you're terrified of speaking in public, start by speaking up in small group settings or even talking to strangers in everyday situations. Slowly, you'll desensitize yourself to the fear, and over time, it will lose its power. Each time you voluntarily place yourself in an uncomfortable situation, you build resilience, and your fear will shrink. Voluntary discomfort is a way to confront fear head-on and practice handling uncomfortable situations without letting fear control you. It also builds a sense of self-mastery. When you consistently choose discomfort over comfort, you begin to trust your ability to handle challenges. Instead of waiting for fear to subside or hoping that the uncomfortable situation will go away, you actively face it and learn to thrive in it. Over time, you'll find that you become more confident and capable of managing discomfort and fear. The key to voluntary discomfort is that it's not about seeking out unnecessary suffering, but rather about choosing challenges that push your boundaries in a controlled and purposeful way. Whether it's exercising beyond your usual limits, practicing difficult skills, or exposing yourself to uncomfortable social situations, you are intentionally growing your tolerance for discomfort and reinforcing your courage. One of the most profound benefits of voluntary discomfort is the confidence it builds. The more you push through difficult situations, the more you realize that fear is often a product of anticipation, not reality. When you face discomfort head-on, you realize that you can handle much more than you thought. This knowledge allows you to confront bigger fears in the future with greater ease, knowing that you have already successfully navigated discomfort in the past. In Stoic terms, voluntary discomfort is a form of practice. Just like an athlete trains their muscles to endure physical exertion, you train your mind to endure emotional or psychological discomfort. With practice, you strengthen your ability to endure fear, uncertainty, and anxiety. This practice helps you understand that discomfort is temporary and that you have the power to withstand it. The more you endure, the more resilient you become, and the less power fear has over you. By incorporating voluntary discomfort into your life, you're not just building resilience, you're actively choosing to become the person who can handle anything. You're teaching your mind that fear isn't a barrier, it's just an obstacle to push through. And as you continue to face discomfort, you'll find that fear becomes less and less of a force in your life. Thank you for watching. By now, you've learned 3 powerful strategies to help you conquer fear and live with greater courage. Embracing the dichotomy of control, practicing negative visualization, and intentionally exposing yourself to discomfort. These principles, rooted in Stoicism and supported by modern psychology, offer you a toolkit to not only overcome fear but to transform how you approach life's challenges. Remember, fear is natural. It's part of being human. But you have the power to take control. It's not about eliminating fear completely, but about learning how to manage it so that it no longer holds you back. Every time you face your fears, you grow stronger, more resilient, and more capable of achieving the life you want. I encourage you to take action today. Start with small steps, embrace discomfort, control what you can, and use negative visualization to reframe your fears. Over time, you'll notice the profound impact these practices have on your mindset, your actions, and your confidence. If you found these strategies helpful, please take a moment to like, comment, and share this video with anyone who could benefit from these insights. Don't forget to subscribe to Beyond Vision Mindset for more content on personal growth, Stoic philosophy, and practical tools to help you live a fearless, fulfilling life. And, as always, remember, the true test of your character isn't whether or not you experience fear, it's how you respond to it. Keep pushing forward, and never let fear control your path. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.